Guys, here we go into a video on Callum Johnson versus Artur Beterbiev for a fight that's happening this weekend. Now, I'm going to be doing this video a little differently than I usually do them, so bear with me. But we're going to be doing both Callum Johnson and Artur Beterbiev's fights, and they're one-round action wars, which is exactly what I think this fight is going to be. So let's go ahead and get into it. So coming out right away, and you can see Callum Johnson looking to open up on his opponent, right? Not really feinting, not really giving him any different looks, kind of just a explosion out of his guard, throws a couple of hooks and circles around. Now, you can see his opponent, however, doing a really good job of getting him into this high guard, right? This will be important. Boom, going to the body, and landing some shots, and Callum Johnson not really looking to counter at this point. Kind of seeing what his opponent's going with. His opponent goes with a couple ones, right? Gets him into the high guard, controls him. To be honest, his opponent was pretty good. Shooting the jab, and then Callum Johnson just exploding out of his guard right here. No feinting, no head movement, no setup. Coming forward, almost getting walked into that shot, as you see right here. He shoots the jab, he slips in. So he shoots the jab, thinking he's going to slip in again, throws another right hand. Frank Bugliani not looking too bad. Coming in, ooh, and then here's the first problem. And I'm not exactly sure how Johnson picks up on this, but he shoots that jab, and then he goes down low with the jab to the body, and then he starts throwing this right hand. Look at Johnson eat this right hand right here. Maybe it's on the chest, maybe it's on the chin, I'm not sure. But he looks to counter him and punch with Frank Bugliani and catches him with a big shot, right? And then what happens right after he catches him with this big shot, right? Boom, right? He eats another shot of his own, kind of on the temple, on the side of the head. And then he shoots a jab and then eats another big shot, Now, the reason that this part in particular is important, this jab right here when Frank Bugliani is so close, is Johnson times him really well and lands that big right hand. And when we get into the film study with Artur Beterbiev, you'll see why that's important. But Bugliani eating the shot, and then again, boom, Johnson catching him with another shot while he's punching. And what happens after he lands that big shot? He eats a shot of his own. Look at him fly off balance. And then again, Johnson timing him off that jab, boom, over the top with another right hand. Really interesting because, as we'll see in the fight with Artur Beterbiev, he also doesn't set his punches up super well and is kind of probably a little prone to counters over the top. But after he has him hurt, Johnson just kind of goes on a rampage here, lands a bunch of punches. And then what happens? He catches Bugliani punching with him again, right? But he hasn't really had to set his punches up. And when he does look to set his punches up, not very effective right there, even though his opponent is obviously hurt, right? Still not able to really set his punches up. But to be honest, a fantastic fight, really fun to watch. Coming in, again, not really landing any punches. And these are punches that he finally lands one there at the end. This right hand here, again, only when Frank Bugliani looks to punch with him does Callum Johnson land any punches, right? Really interesting. That's what we're going to do on this film study, but for this round. But if you notice, Callum Johnson not doing too bad with the jabs, when his opponent jabs at him, right? Like in this sequence here, right here. Setting him up for the left hook right there, off of the jabs and the countering the right hand that his opponent already showed that he was going to go to the body with. Oh, okay, so that's what that is, right? This is in response to this first right hand right here that Bugliani ducks, goes low, and then goes to the right hand to the body. So later in the fight, just a few seconds later, Johnson thinks he's going to the body with the right hand and catches him up top with the left hook. So Callum Johnson's showing that he's paying attention, right? But again, when countering the jab over the top, looking like it might be a great weapon for Callum Johnson. Let's go ahead and get into the Beterbiev fight, which is also very interesting. This is him fighting Isidro Ranoni Prieto. It's supposed to be 1080p, but I don't know what's going on. Now we've got Prieto putting the pressure on him. Not really giving him different looks, but also look at Beterbiev, not really giving him different looks, not really feinting a lot, not giving him a lot of things to think about. And then, what happens right here? Beterbiev flashes the lead hand up, goes to the body. His opponent parries it, wide parry, and then goes over the top with the right hand of his own. And although the angle is not very clear, I do think that he actually lands this right hand. But you can see how open Beterbiev is for this shot, which is really interesting because Callum Johnson had so much success countering over the top of Buglione's jab. Now the next thing that we have here is Beterbiev dropping this fool, just crashing his right hand into him, and timing him beautifully. So if we go back to this scene right here, where Beterbiev gets countered over the top, watch his opponent's left hand drop when he throws the right hand. Right? He can see it coming. The left hand comes down. Now in the next scene, when he's got him against the ropes, just a few seconds later, he knows that when he's moving to his opponent's right side, his opponent's going to try to time him with the right hand, moving into it, right? What does he do? He slips, moves his head off the line, and throws a great right hand of his own at the same time. Just watch this beautiful setup, you guys. I'm going to put it in kind of slow-mo real quick. But let's go back a couple seconds. Let's go down one more. So you can see his opponent takes that step, and he takes that step, and look at how he sets up and plants himself, and allows Beterbiev to time him perfectly with that right hand and just drop him. Just a beautiful setup, He saw it coming. He knew that his opponent was going to drop his left hand and walk right into it. Now, this isn't the end of the fight, right? But this is exactly how I kind of expect the fight to go between Callum Johnson. And it's going to be a really interesting fight, to be honest. I think it's going to be really fast-paced, really action-packed, As we saw with Johnson, he takes a lot of risks. He doesn't set his punches up, much like this guy right here, Prieto. But he wants to be aggressive. Again, Prieto looking to counter Artur Beterbiev right there, because Artur Beterbiev doesn't always set his shots up super well either. Boom, But more importantly, I think that Beterbiev is probably just a little too tough for Johnson. Let's see, was there anything in there? Jab comes out, and then he looks to counter over the top of it. He goes to the body with it. But as you can see, Beterbiev not doing the greatest job setting his shots up either. And I think that that's going to allow Callum Johnson to have a lot of success with his counters, possibly, as long as he feels comfortable. Boom, great shots from Beterbiev. Feints him with the right hand, and then just shoots the jab. He's a little close for that jab. Now, this is interesting because, right, look at how close he is with this jab. This is exactly the same problem that Buglione had against Callum Johnson. And we'll take a look at it here. But they're in this close quarter. He shoots that jab, and he's just right there to be hit with that right hand. Just shooting it completely out of position. He's not feinting it. And even though he lands the shot on Johnson, Johnson's there with the right hand counter perfectly, and I could see him, again, having the same success. It does look like, even though he gets hit with that shot, he starts coming back with his own right hand, too, that Beterbiev kind of catches him with. But he does look like he's in position to get hit with the right hand counter as well. So this is going to be a fantastic action-packed fight, you guys, from two fighters that really look like they want to, get in there and let some leather fly. But again, launching himself in there with this jab, as you can see here, ducks down, shoots that jab, boom, and it's acceptable to counters because he's telegraphing the shots. There's another film that I did on him versus Enrico Colling, and he has, Beterbiev has this little tell when he's about to punch that he always steps forward and he kind of rocks forward a little bit, and you can see Prieto looking to time him there, boom, and go over the top of the shot on that rock forward as well. Having some success going to the body right there. But as you watch him lean forward, rocks forward, shoots the jab, and his opponent's able to kind of time him. Even though he's not having any success, that's not really the point. The better your competition, the better they'll be able to take advantage of your mistakes. Steps forward, and then he slips to get under the jab when he thinks he's coming, and then go over the top of the right hand. So Prieto's showing some of the strategies that I expect Callum Johnson to use, but notice how they're not super effective. He's not able to really capitalize on them. And again, beautiful work from Beterbiev here, shooting the jab and then covering up right after, kind of showing that he's now baiting that attack from him. Anyway, we'll just kind of let this one play out a little bit. Again, beautiful. Shoots the jab, knows the counter is coming, rocks back, and then goes in with his own left-hand counter. But much like Callum Johnson, Prieto continues to throw punches after and is able to catch Beterbiev with the shot on the way out. So Beterbiev's kind of showing some of his, defensive inabilities, how he's staying on the line with his opponent, and he shoots this shot. Boom, moves off a little bit, but still winds up getting caught because he keeps his hands low, just like Buglioni was doing in their fight. So I expect this fight to be a massive, action-packed, fan-friendly fight. But I do actually expect Beterbiev, who's just a little more polished, much more experienced, to come out the victor and, boom, again, be able to take advantage of his opponent's mistakes much better. As you see between these two fighters, they both make the same fundamental mistake, right? He telegraphs his jab here, right, stepping forward, and Beterbiev lands a crashing right hand right on his temple. And I feel that he's going to be able to take advantage of the mistakes that Callum Johnson makes much more easily than Callum Johnson will be able to take advantage of the mistakes that Beterbiev makes. And again, this is another big one too, fighting on the inside. I think that's going to be something that the less polished, the less, how do you say it, experienced fighter Johnson is going to be able to take advantage of. As you see, he's kind of sloppy on the inside. Not super effective, but it's going to be an action-packed fight regardless. And I expect Artur Beterbiev to get a KO within the first 3 rounds, as long as Callum Johnson comes to fight and isn't trying to pull an Enrico Colling, which I don't think he will. I think he's excited about this opportunity, and he's going to try to make the most of it. And yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.